Hey guys, and welcome to another build guide here on my channel. This is a build guide for after the 10th December patch. The patch was yesterday, and I created this build like before the patch, and now it's even stronger. It's especially good on side nodes fight, like 1 versus 1s, 2 versus 2s. It's very strong. In team fight it lacks a little bit the condition burst, but it's just amazing. If you focus your team around it, you can really win a lot of stuff. And I've been testing this build in tournaments lately in top 100 team Q in Europe, and it works like perfectly. It's just so insanely good, and I'm just going to present it to you. So it's before I start with the trades, it's really passive, and in my opinion it's not like a build that takes a lot of skill, so it has a very low skill cap, so it's maybe very good for new players. So if you want to try it out, just go ahead and do it. So first of all, I'll just tell you my utilities and what weapons I'm using. Like, I'm using Scepter. Scepter is a really good condition weapon. It has a block which basically gets 5 stacks of torment on your enemy, which deal a lot of damage, and the cooldown is very slow. It's like 8 seconds, so that's awesome. Then you have confusing images with 5 stacks of confusion, another condition source. It's amazing. Then the Phantasmal Duelist, I will come to that later, and the Magic Bullet from Pistol. So it's like Scepter, Pistol, and Staff. Staff is like your more defensive weapon set. It's where you try to keep your sustain while doing nice condition pressure with your clones, because this attack is not very strong, the auto attack, but the condition pressure from your clones, for example, if you have 3 clones out and every clone hits the enemy and has a chance to cause burning or bleeding, it can really stack up a lot of condition damage. And with Chaos Storm you have another source where you can just get yourself Chaos Armor and buff yourself some survivability there. Then I'm using the new Signet. I'm not sure if I like it. I like it for this build, but it's like another passive Signet. I'm not really a fan of passive stuff. So this one actually heals you for quite a lot, every 3 seconds for every illusion you have out there. And it basically, if you activate it, it heals yourself for 5.7k, which is very nice. And it refreshes your phantasm skills, like the Warlock and the Duelist, so that's pretty nice. Then I'm running Nullfield because like it's on point. It rips off your conditions, it rips off the boons from your enemy, like stability, so you can stun him with your Magic Bullet and stuff like this. So it's pretty cool, and it works perfectly with this build. Then we have Portal, which is like a must-have for investment in tournaments, in my opinion. And we have Decoy. Yeah, you might think like Decoy is not the best choice for a side node build because you would lose the point. But with this build, you get your enemy off the point. The enemy can't really stay on the point. So once your enemy is off the point, you can just activate it and get yourself the 3 seconds you need to get your cooldowns up and attack him again. Then you have Mass Invisibility. You can also take more, but I feel like Mass Invisibility is such a good skill when it comes to team plays, racing and everything, and stomping. It's amazing. I like it. But as I said, you can also switch it to more. So let's continue. We have the amulet here. I'm running Rapid Amulet because of the precision. I have a 45% crit chance, which is amazing. And then I get Toughness, which is also very nice against warriors, for example, or against other Mesmers or any other class like thieves. And condition damage, of course. Then I'm using Settler's Jewel because I get regeneration from this Signet here. And you will see in the trades later on that I get another source of regeneration. So I like Settler's Jewel for this amulet. It's just very good. It harmonizes perfectly with this build. Then I'm running Under Runes because I've got a huge amount of toughness with the Rapid Amulet, and it's just perfect for this build. You get 5% of toughness becomes condition damage, so you get a lot of condition damage from that. As you can see, I have 1.3k condition damage on Scepter and 1.1k on my staff. I'm using Scepter, Pistol. Scepter with the energy sigil on it, and Pistol with condition damage every time I kill a foe. So that's pretty cool, because you're very sustained, so you can basically get up to 25 stacks almost all the time, depending on how well your team performs. And then the staff with another energy sigil. So let's move on with the traits. I have 0, 30, 20, 20, 0. So the main reason I went to 30 in dueling is to get both duelist discipline and deceptive evasion, because first of all, like, I'm using phantasmal fury, which is awesome for your phantasm. Like, you have your phantasm duelist, which basically attacks 8 times, and here you have the trait whenever an illusion in crits, it inflicts bleeding, and so bleeding for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds is awesome, especially since your duelist can hit up to 8 times. So you can basically get, if you're lucky, like 8 stacks of bleeding on your enemy, which won't happen all the time. But with Fury, they really have a huge crit chance. Then I wanted to get the recharge on pistol skills, because I wanted to have all my weapons to recharge faster, which is a key of this build, to get all your illusions out as often as possible and to have all your skills you need whenever you need them. Then you have confusing competence. It's an amazing skill. It's one of the key traits your build focuses on. Basically, whenever an enemy kills one of your illusions, they get confusion. Killing illusions doesn't mean if you shatter them that the enemy gets confusion. That's not how it works. But if you override an illusion, for example, you have 3 illusions out and then you dodge, and you create another illusion, it overrides the old illusion, and the old illusion explodes and gets confusion on the enemy, which is really, really good. And then I'm using deceptive evasion. I really like it, like the whole synergy of this build, for my clone generation, to get like as many clones out as possible to activate this effect. And this effect here, we have this one, which is amazing. Gain regeneration when your health drops below the threshold, which basically gives you 12 seconds of regeneration when you drop below 75%. So that's one of the traits I use the setless jewel for, to get some extra regeneration. Then I'm using this trait here, where the enemy gets bleeding, vulnerability, or weakness when one of your illusion dies. So this trait in combination with this trait is just amazing. That's like the key of this build. You just focus on getting as close to your enemy as possible, and let your clones die around him so they explode in his face and just create a huge amount of bleedings and confusion. So then we have Illusionary Membrane. It's awesome because you get protection, which is another source of survivability for your build. Then we have the Chaotic Dampening, so your staff skills recharge fast, which is amazing. I thought about not using this trait here and these two, but instead going into illusions 15 points to get the recharge on illusion summoning skills. But in my opinion, just having Chaos Storm and Chaos Armor ready more often or faster is just amazing, because with this trait you only get the recharge on Phantasmal Warlock and the Phase Retreat, and these skills are like the reason I'm taking staff for. So I really go with this one. Then we have Glamour Mastery, because I have like Portal and Nullfield, so you have the recharge on both of them, which is in very nice synergy with this build. And you have Vengeful Images, so basically whenever an enemy attacks you on a point when you have your illusions up, he gets retaliation damage, he gets confusion, and he gets one of the conditions here if he kills one of your illusions. So it's very passive build. It's kind of easy to play, but it depends on who you play against, but I will come to the hard counters later. Then we have the Phantasmal Healing, and this is very amazing. With this in combination with this trait here, gives you permanent regeneration uptime, and it helps you sustain. It helps you sustain. Then we have Malicious Sorcery, because I also wanted to have the Scepter cooldowns. So this was like 2.5 seconds, and this is 2 seconds faster recharge. It's not that much, but it's very, very nice, and also it gives you 200% 200 condition damage, not 200%. So this is about the traits, and now I will tell you something about how this build works. Like, basically, it's a side point build, so in duels it's very, very strong on the point, since your enemy has to go off the point. The hard counters, I would say, it's very hard to win against a good Necromancer. A good Necromancer could always win against you, because, for let's say you spike him with your conditions, and the spike is like, you activate your Phantasm, then you stun him, and then you get your confusion on enemy. Like this. That's like one of the condition spikes you have in this build. Apart from your block, which is just amazing, and the 5 stacks of Torment are so good. And as you can see, the cooldowns are like already up again. So if a good necromancer just waits for you to get your conditions on him and then gives you the conditions back, you really have a problem, because Nullfit is a good condition move, but it just doesn't remove the conditions instantly. So that's one problem. Condition necro is really the problem. Then we have Warrior, Condition Warrior. Against Condition Warriors, it depends on how good how well they play, because I've won against a lot of Condition Warriors, but some Condition Warriors manage to kill me. It's always kind of luck. It's like 50-50, I would say. Then we have some other hard counters to conditions. We have automated response engineers. You can actually win against them. It's not even that hard. Like the only time I lose to engineers is like when they use their elite, have a lot of luck, and have automated response. Then they can win against my build, or like this build. Because otherwise you always have 3 illusions out, so that's very good for your passive Signet, and it's very good for Mind Wreck. You can always Mind Wreck. It's not that much damage, but it's still enough to kill an engineer. For example, you have your duelist out, and you see the enemy is dropping really, really low. Then you wait for the duelist to attack with the auto attack in the meanwhile, and then shatter Mind Wreck, which is just amazing and kills most of the automated response engineers if they don't react fast enough, but they won't, because they're in the middle of your clones, because they are, most of the times they are like bunker engineers, and they're trying to find the point to get you off, so they are in the middle of your clones, and if you just shatter them, he has no time to react. He might have a lucky dodge, but that's like not very often, that happens not very often. Then we have Diamond Skin allies. Diamond Skin allies are actually easy, or like every elementalist is easy to win against with this build. Which is, well, okay. So how do you fight against them? Like, it takes 10. You have to take, like, basically you have to take 10% of their life off, so they are below 90% HP, so they can get affected by conditions. What you do is like the same like you do with an automated response engineer. You wait for your phantasm to attack, or you just instantly shatter Mind Wreck and then try to get the Torment stacks on the enemy, because Torment is a really reliable source of damage, and in these 8 seconds he gets enough damage to stay below the threshold, and then you can just spike him with conditions and he has no chance to survive this. On the point, an elementalist should not win against this build. And do we have another hard counter? Let's go over all the through all the classes. We have Thief. Thieves are actually very easy with this build. If you're not completely on cooldown and have nothing up and you are already on low HP, a Thief can basically not win against you on a point. And since the tournament system focuses on capturing points, there is no way a Thief can win against you. Then we have Spear Ranger. A very good Spear Ranger can win against you, but if you play it correctly, you should win. Like, you have 80% win rate against Spear Rangers, at least that's my experience so far. And Warriors, Hammer Longbow Warriors are still annoying, but you can, for example, if they activate Berserker Stance, you can just wait and like stun them. You can still stun them, so you can just stun them. And actually, you can no. I would keep the stun for later on when you have. I will chill in a second. Okay, so you have your block and you have your Chaos Armor, which is very nice because you can just try to kite him a little bit on the point, because if he is on Hammer, he has some obvious animations and you can dodge the stuns. And if he's on Longbow, you still have your Null Field to remove the Immobilize and the Bleedings and the Burnings, while removing his ability and everything. So Null Field is very good against Hammer Longbow Warriors. If a Hammer Longbow Warrior activates anything that prevents you from doing direct damage to him, like Ender Pain, which makes your Phantasm like only do the bleeding damage, which is nice but not that much, you can still stun him and wait for him to wait for his Ender Pain to end, and then activate your Phantasm Duelist to do like the whole damage, because you really want the direct damage from Phantasm Duelist as well. Then we have so we have Elementalists, Ranger, Thief, Warrior. Another Mesmer is actually really easy to kill on a point. It's hard to fight a Mesmer if he's running Staff and Greatsword and if he's just kiting you all the time, but then again he can't really win the points, so yeah. Usually you should win against Mesmers. Then you have, so that's Mesmer. Then we have Guardians. I see a lot of off-Guardians, and in my experience so far, off-Guardians have no chance against this build, like no chance at all, because they have perma weakness because of this trait here. They have kind of perma weakness, so that's very, very good. Did I forget one class? Yeah, Necromancer. I got Necromancer, so there's one last class missing. Let me check. Engineer, Thief, Warrior, Guardian, Elementalist, Necromancer, Ranger, and Mesmer. I guess I got all the classes. I'm not sure if I just missed one, but I don't think so. So like basically the hard counter of this build is the hardest matchup is Necromancer. The second hardest matchup I would say Engineer, and then some sort of Warrior. And like the rest is kind of easy. So with this build, if you practice a little bit, it's not that hard to play. You have a lot of damage on small points, and it's very, very good. And I think it will become kind of the meta build for condition mesmers, because I'm not sure if there's another condition mesmer out there, a condition build out there that is as effective as this one. At least I haven't seen one, and I really theory crafted a lot and tried a lot with my guildmates and some friends in game to check how effective it is against certain classes, and it worked like the best for me. I tried some different versions of this build, but this is like the best for me. So I really recommend this one for all condition mesmers out there, and I really hope you have a lot of fun playing this build, because most of the enemies really rage, because it's just you jump onto the point and you get wrecked by conditions, and it's no fun to play against. But yeah, I really hope you have fun, guys, and I will actually record some footage of this in tournament matches where I play against some really good teams, so you can see that it really works against high tier players or very good players as well. So see you guys soon on my channel, and I will soon upload a lot of solo queue episodes with this build and with other builds as well. And I will also upload some World vs World videos, since I managed to get my Mesmer to rank 80 with the Tomes of Knowledge. So see you guys in future episodes. Ciao ciao!